Welcome, Loreseekers, the Book of Boba finale, Chapter 7, In the Name of Honor. It's out. It is, to me, it was good. A lot of people were disliking it. A lot of people were saying it's terrible. If you're in that boat, I'm sorry. I really did think it was good. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Was it great? No, not at all. But it was good. And it got the point across. It was the Book of Boba Fett. Even with the mix of Mandalorian in episodes 5 and 6, it sets up the seasons for the other shows, such as Ahsoka, maybe a possible Luke show, Mandalorian Season 3, Grogu's Decision. It finishes Book of Boba's arc for this season, so now we no longer have to deal with the Pike War, but something else is going to happen. Could it be another crime syndicate, such as Crimson Dawn? Maybe the Hutts come back, and it really sets up all these new stories and possibilities for Boba. Now, I've tried to do this breakdown 3 or 4 times, and it just keeps going back to the same thing in my head. It's not that good. You know, it's mainly action sequences, so what am I going to do? Do give a play-by-play like I'm a football analyst or something? And I decided to go against that. So we're just going to talk about a few things. Boba's story in this, I thought was really well done. You know, he's obviously a changed character. Cad Bane even says it. He's like, you tried it. You gave it your best shot. And, you know, Boba's sad about the collateral damage. He doesn't want to lose these warriors in combat. And he sticks it out. He has Fennec Shan there. That is really the voice of reason for him. And she does an amazing job of reeling him back in when he's getting emotional, which he was when he found out about the Tusken secret that Cad revealed. And I think it really moves his arc. Like, he is officially no longer a bounty hunter. We're never going to go back to that story. And he is leading this new life of leading his people, the good people of Mos Espa. And he is no longer a villain. He's no longer scum and villainy. He's retired from his past life, and he's trying to right those wrongs. Now, let's go to Cad Bane. A lot of people are upset that he's dead. Yes, they brought him in for the sole purpose to kill him. He's an amazing character. He has a great story, but his story is during the time of the Clone Wars. Bringing him into this show wasn't for long-term intentions. He was supposed to die in Clone Wars. The fact that we're getting him now is just a bonus, you know, extra icing on the cake. For him not to die in this, I think, and if he didn't die in season 1, I was guaranteeing he was going to die in season 2, like early on. And the way he died was exactly how it was intended. He's got the metal plate on his head. Boba still has the dent in his helmet. And they finished the Clone Wars arc that we never got, right? Where Boba kills Cad Bane with a headshot, and Boba gets knocked unconscious with the big ding to his head, right? Except this time, it was a direct reference to Pedro Pascal's Game of Thrones scene. Spoiler alerts. I'll give you like a second to fast forward. Pedro Pascal's character, the Viper, in Game of Thrones, fights the Mountain, and the Viper is whooping him. He's piecing him up, and the Mountain's supposed to be this amazing character, like a fighter. And just as the Viper's about to win, he gets caught up in his own hubris, right? He stands over the Mountain, and he's starting to pretty much brag that I've beaten him. And the Mountain trips him up, and he ends up killing him in the most brutal way. I can't even show this on a Star Wars channel. I'll get banned. It's the same thing. Cad Bane stands over Boba, talking too much, getting caught in his own hubris, and ends up dying for it, right? I think it was super well done. I love that scene. The Cad Bane death was exactly how it should have been, in my opinion. And I'm okay with it. I don't think he should be kept around just because he's an amazing character. Sometimes characters need to die to progress the story. And Boba not killing Cad is a huge disservice to the future of Boba's arc. And that's where I stand on this hill. I do want people to comment down below if you think Cad Bane should have lived and progressed into like a season 2. The next thing I want to talk about is the Scorpionek Annihilator droids. They played a huge role, probably a 25 to 30 minute role in this episode. So they're not actually new. These are part of Legends. Count Dooku brings them in to fight for the Separatists in the Clone Wars. So they have 2 dual rapid fire laser cannons and a particle energy shield. They're pretty much the big cousin of Droidekas. And the weak point of this droid is the eye, but the problem is you can't get to it with these shields. I mean, we've seen that the Darksaber can't even get through it. So what can, right? Well, Boba decides his Raiden Core can, and he goes 2-0. But these droids in Legends were dang near unstoppable. They were so expensive, though, that there was only like 100 in existence, and the Confederacy used them at near the end of the war. And it's like everything else, when Order 66 happened, they decommissioned these droids, and Palpatine actually sent them to the Imperial Department of Military Research so they can start doing who knows what. So the Empire definitely has this technology, and who knows what they created. And maybe we get to see whatever the Empire has cooked up with these things. They got the Dark Troopers now. Maybe they have an Annihilator 2.0 out there. We're just waiting. Moving on, let's go to Pelimoto, Grogu, and Din's little story arc in this episode. I don't like Pelimoto in this battle. I don't think she's a character that needs to be in the battles. She needs to be a bridge and gap to those type of scenes. I wish she would have stayed out of it. I wish Grogu, in a way, would have stayed out of it. But we got him, and what we got was good for the purposes that he served, which is the show. And I'll get more into this in my later video this weekend about Grogu. His small training with Luke has tripled his force powers. Not only can he use force powers longer, he can do more. He pulls the ball joint out of the Scorpionek droid, and he also puts the Rancor to sleep. Those skills are all those of a knight, right? Like, he Padawan, and he's already performing skills of a Jedi Knight. So he is going to be as powerful as Master Yoda, if not more powerful, by the time he's done, if he gets the proper training. Also, who knew that a Rancor and Grogu scene face-off is what everybody wanted to see on the big screen? I thought that was amazing. It's my second favorite scene of the episode, behind Din and Boba's face-off with the Pikes. I'm going to post this concept art up on the screen right now. I mean, look at it. Come on. I mean, if you would have seen that a year ago, you'd have been like, what the heck's going on here? I mean, that is so good. I'm glad we got that. And that's one of the only reasons why I was happy Grogu was in this episode. Because I think they should have saved him for season 3 of Mandalorian. But, like I said, I go with the flow. Bringing him into this, it makes episode 5 and 6 make more sense. And who knows what would happen to Din without Grogu. We might be, not getting a Mandalorian season 3 without him. And we'll wrap this up with the Vespa gang, Chrysanthemum, Boba, Fennec Shand, all in a huddle and pretty much ready for whatever's next. Could it be Crimson Dawn? Could it be the Hutts come back now that the Pikes are gone? What is the next chapter of Book of Boba? I'm not really sure where they're going to go with this. I think there's a small chance that Bad Batch Season 2 will kind of reveal Omega and Cad Bane and Boba's story. And if they do that, Season 2 could be Boba trying to find Omega, if she's alive, or what the deal is with her. And I think that'd be a good story for Boba. And then we have Din in space flying with the Twin Suns, a beautiful shot. And Grogu's in there, and he's knocking on the window, and he's like, come on, do it. And he's like, no, do it, no. And of course, he just wants the sublight engines to just go. And that's the end of the episode, or so we thought. We could get a post-credit scene where Cobb Vanth is in the bacta tank, and he's about to get turned into a cybernetic android. So I would say he's going to be in Book of Boba Season 2, and that's going to be their story. Then Din goes does his, and then Luke's over there, and Ahsoka's over there, and then we bring in Thrawn and Ezra, and then eventually we're going to have the whole gang come up for their cinematic conclusion, because now Boba owes Din owes Luke owes nobody anything except maybe Ahsoka. Ahsoka will need help with Thrawn, Ezra, and they're all going to come in this last climatic battle against Thrawn and Moff Gideon and the Remnant Empire. You have the Republic is also, they want to ask Din questions. They're very curious about Din, so they're really leading up to this Republic versus the Imperial Remnant with Thrawn. And the Republic's got a lot of key players. Kind of curious where Han Solo, Leia, and all of them are going to come into play, but that'll be for probably next year. And that'll probably be for next year. I wonder whose show is going to get the finale portion. Are they going to make it its own show where it's, the Thrawn Wars or, Star Wars, Thrawn Wars? I mean, who knows what they're going to do, but they're all coming together. We all know it's going to happen. And if you're excited for that as much as I am, then we're looking into a good few years. Kenobi has its announcement for May the 25th. I know that's not part of this little cinematic universe, but still, It's all going to come together. The Force is strong, and the Force is strong in you. I appreciate you guys watching, and of course, may that Force be with you always.